Hello and welcome to this video on 50 memory techniques. Let me expand that so you can see. Created by me for students, Guyanese and Caribbean students, to improve their performance in the CXC examinations. You too can be a top performer with these powerful tools. You learn more about these tools through dynamic interactions, and you'll be able to improve your memory. Many students complain about having a poor memory, but that's not true. You are already in possession of a powerful memory. What you have is an untrained memory, and a trained memory will enable you to perform exceptionally well at your exams. Now, bear in mind, memory is not a thing. It's not a place stored in your brain. Memory is a set of connections, neural connections in your brain. Memory is a skill, and like any other skill, it develops through practice. If you want to be a good footballer, you have to practice to develop your skill, to do different drills. If you want to be a tennis player, a good tennis player, you have to practice playing those shots. If you want to be a good basketball player, you have to practice and practice and practice. It's a skill, and you can develop a skill. With these powerful techniques, you'll be able to boost your performance at the CXC examinations. Now, your brain is a powerful memory processor. When you develop your skill at memorizing, you'll be able to boost your performance. And as I mentioned earlier, memory is a skill. You are not born with a fixed capacity to remember things. You are born with an extensive ability to develop your skill. Remember that. It's a skill. It's not a talent. It's not only a talent, it's a skill. And any skill can be developed through practice. You learn, for example, to use the skill of visualization. For example, on your watch, you can see the time. It's displayed through graphic images, positions and places and so on, colors. That helps you to identify locations on your watch and tell the time. Visualization. You'll develop the skill at memorization. Now, many students use rote memorization to memorize stuff. They cram stuff and repeat items over and over, either loud or silently. Now, many teachers are enviously critical of students who have good memory, and they blame them for cramming. They say that students are crammers. But not all students are crammers. Some students use more effective techniques than other students. Now, what role does memory play in performance exams? Bear in mind, exams are designed to test your ability to recall information on demand. That is it. Recall information on demand come exam time. If you can't recall it, you can't use it. If you can't recall it, you can't show it that you know it. So bear in mind, you can use techniques such as a metaphor. For example, the light bulb is used as a metaphor for creativity. Whenever you see a diagram with a light bulb, it represents creativity. So here, when you're thinking about creativity, you can recall the image of a light bulb, and that helps you to remember what creativity is all about, generating new ideas using metaphors, analogies, and so on. You learn techniques of using diagrams to boost your memory. Yes, because your memory is a visual processor, your brain can process information instantly and accurately. For example, you can instantly recognize your friend or a relative or someone you know in a crowd. Now compare that ability with what computers can do. A computer can process information quickly and accurately too, but it will take time to identify a familiar face in a crowd. It will take probably minutes, even longer than that. But your brain can instantly recognize a face in a crowd. That shows you the ability of your brain to process information visually. So when you process information visually, it boosts retention of the information you are studying. You learn techniques about like acronyms. Acronyms. For example, BRICS. Do you know what the acronym BRICS stands for? You can use acronyms to boost your recall of information, and you learn those techniques in a separate video. You learn how to take notes, when to take notes, and how to review your notes that you've taken in a classroom to boost retention and recall. You learn a very powerful technique called the link method, where you associate two things together. So when you recall one, you can easily recall the other, the link method. You'll also learn about the peg system. You can use cities to recall information as pegs. You can use fruits as pegs. You can use people as pegs. And you can use animals as pegs, sports people as pegs, and much, much more. That makes up the first set of 10 memory techniques. The second set of memory techniques involve, for example, zoom and check. Use self-test questions. Give yourself a test. Testing yourself repeatedly boosts recall. Active recall of what you learn will boost your memory of that information. Instead of repeating information over and over, you test yourself, create questions and check yourself. You can use flashcards to do that and much more. You learn about the technique of anthropomorphize. What does big word means? It means you can morph or change something and give it an animal form or a human form. Anthropomorphize. But more of that in a separate video where we deal with this technique. Anthropomorphize. You learn about the technique of visceralize. Visceralize. What does this mean? Visceralize. Visceral means you feel it in your body. You feel it all over in your body. You have a strong feeling, a visceral feeling. And when you associate a powerful emotion to what you're learning, it's like super glue. It causes that memory of that experience to stick in your mind for a long, long time. You learn how to use this technique to boost recall of any subject or topic you're learning. You learn to leverage prior knowledge. What's this? Leveraging prior knowledge. Well, when you're studying something, you need to link it to what you already know. And you use powerful techniques to do that so that when you recall one thing, it enables you to recall something else that is closely associated with it. Leveraging prior knowledge. You'll also learn techniques of gap avoidance, where you create maps, mind maps, concept maps, and so on, and much, much more. The basic idea of gap avoidance is for you to become aware of what you do not know. Take, for example, if you were to be asked to list what are the items that are in your kitchen at home, you can take out your notebook and jot down all the items that you think, big items that are in your kitchen. And you can use a concept map or a diagram to display that information. And when you create that map now, you can then compare When you go back and check in your kitchen to see what is missing and what is absent from your map. So you'll know what you don't know and you know what you do know using gap avoidance. But more of this in a subsequent video. You learn about brainstorming, mindstorming, relationship diagrams like concept maps and mind maps, and so on. You learn about using your hand as a memory tool. Yes, using your hand as a memory tool. In the next video, we look at other techniques. We use all of your senses to learn faster, retain more, and make study a breeze. You too can become a top performer with our powerful memory techniques, which are based upon scientific research, are scientifically backed, and always provide you with reliable results. In the next video, we'll continue to see what else is available in our set of 50 memory techniques to boost your performance.